Hey guys, Deborah with Pinching Pesos here, and it's time for They Paid What? Sales update time. Now, I know, I didn't do a sales update video in all of March, and hear me out. March was by far one of the worst months that I've ever dealt with, uh, as far as like mentally, emotionally, and just outright like physically. So, and I've been through some pretty rough crap, but March of this year just was not it was not great. It was a total up and down roller coaster of emotions, and it's over, and then now I don't really know what to do with myself. So what I did is I ended up taking the week off, the first week of April. Well, this week. So whatever this week is, the 4th through the 10th. I ended up taking the week off. I decided that I wasn't going to force myself to do any work this week. I've never done that. While I do a whole lot of not working while I should be working, I've never actually just given myself permission to take the day off, take the week off. So that's what I did. And I discovered a couple things this week. I discovered one, I hate my freaking office. I don't like being in here now. And two, there's not a whole lot different about me not working than there is in me working, as far as like my mindset. So I have to figure out what to do with that information. One of the solutions is I started cleaning up the backyard, and I'm actually going to set up a work area out there that I can take my laptop to get outside. And then somehow at some point, probably whenever Patrick gets back, because Patrick, my helper from last year, is coming back from San Francisco, and he will be here at the end of April. So I'm thinking I'm going to leave all of this for whenever Patrick gets back here, because Patrick is amazing at helping me clean and organize. So that's what I'm going to do with that. And then I haven't really decided how I'm going to manage my days appropriately that I get the most work done efficiently, so that I'm not sitting in this office all day, every day. Because it got to the point that I was even like watching TV in here, because like I watch shows on Netflix and stuff, because I don't watch a whole lot of regular TV. But I was doing it in here in my office, which meant I was here like all the time. So yeah. So those are the two things that mainly got discovered. But yeah, so hopefully April will be much better. I did go to the doctor yesterday. My crazy ass got some medication. And we'll see how that goes. And what else? I guess that's it. Let's get started. Alright, so this last month of March had a grand total sales of $1,932 on eBay. And I had $1,574, that's what these all add up to, on Amazon. So between eBay and Amazon, it all totaled up to $3,506 in sales. Total profits came out to $1,572. My profits would have been a lot higher, by about $200 or so, but I made some big time mistakes last month. I sent out the wrong items. I put the wrong labels. I couldn't find the item. It was like my reseller nightmare coming true. Like everything that I could do wrong, I did it. And that's kind of why I took my break. So, yeah, so I lost about $200 to $300 just fixing mistakes. And I'll show them to you as we go along. So let's go ahead and get started, because it's a whole lot of stuff, and I don't want this to be an hour-long video, and I'll try not to talk too much. No. Anyway, okay, so I bought all these peeps. I'm going to have to end up lotting them up and selling them as a whole, because they're going to expire in June. So it's already April. I've sold enough that I've gotten I believe, the money I spent on them back, and then I still have like 30 of them. So I'm going to just lot them up and sell them, for $14.95 free shipping or whatever. They weigh like half an ounce. So I could probably get 12 of them into a box or whatever. So anyway, but I sold a couple of these. Somebody bought 3 of them right here. No, she bought 2. She bought Stuart and Kevin, and so I went ahead and sent her Bob because I was looking, you can't just buy Stuart and Kevin. Here, you have Bob. And then this person bought Bob. Bob's the one I have the most of, so I wasn't worried about it. I paid 50 cents for them at Randall's, which is like Safeway, which is like Kroger. And there. Then I had bought this whole PetSmate fountain. I always buy them when I see them. But it didn't work. It was missing like a piece. And so I just parted the whole thing out. This lady was so happy I had this. Apparently she keeps dropping them and breaking them. And you have to buy a whole new unit. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. So, and they're like $40, $50, $60, $70 depending on which one you have. And you have to buy a brand new unit just because a little plastic piece of crap broke. So she was super happy. She sent me this really long message about how much she loves eBay and blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah. I had paid $4.99 for the whole fountain. It had some filters inside that I actually sold the other day. And then I parted out the lid and that, and I think that was it. This is blocked on Amazon. I couldn't send it in, so I sold it on eBay. I took a best offer of $8 plus shipping. I paid $3.99 for it, so it's not a huge profit, but it sold pretty quickly, and I really don't care. I mean, it was supposed to go to Amazon. It's not even supposed to be here. So, okay, so these Sally Hansen's, I bought these back 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. On clearance for like a quarter. And I sent to Amazon when I was first starting out Amazon, because I started Amazon January 2014. When I first started out, and I was like, okay, so I sent in not these because they didn't have a good price or whatever, but I sent in some other little lipsticks that were on clearance at the same time these ones were. And I think because of that, because I sent in those lip glosses and they sold, then I was grandfathered into like health and beauty, which was great, just because of those little lip glosses that I paid a quarter for. But anyway, I found these in a box somewhere, and I went ahead and looked them up, and apparently this was discontinued color, and it was very popular. And so I went ahead and listed them pretty high. You can see I have it listed for $19.95, and I took a best offer of $12, and I think that's fine, just fine for my lip gloss that I spent a quarter on at the store. So I sold a total of 5 of these during the month of March. The little purse organizers, I sell them for $8.95 free shipping. And they, they weigh 3 ounces. They just go in a poly bag and out the door. It's super simple. And then I had some more of the collars that I didn't get to send into Amazon because they didn't have listings. And this one sold for $16.95 free shipping. I paid $5.99 for those. And then this was a big win. This is the Sanyo Space Saver Bagel Best is what it's called, a Bagel Best. And it's just a little, it's like a thin toaster. Instead of it being long, it's tall. And I saw on Amazon that they had really great reviews. People loved them and would buy them if they could find them. And I had it listed over on Amazon, and I put it over on eBay. A lady from Canada made me an offer on it of $100. So I went ahead and took it, and then she didn't pay. So I wanted to sell the dang thing because I needed the money, right? Because she had sent me a message saying, hey, is there any way to reduce the shipping price? Because it was going priority mail. And since it was tall, it was out of the little like dimensional weight thing because it was at 18 inches in the box or 20 inches in the box or something like that on one side. And it was going to be $50 priority mail, and there just wasn't any way around it. And I said, no, I checked. There isn't any way to reduce the cost. And so then she didn't say anything for like a week. So I just thought she didn't want it anymore. So I put in an order cancellation because I didn't want to wait out the non-paying bidder. I didn't want to ding her. She was an old lady, you know, like I didn't want to ding her. I just wanted to cancel it and get the damn thing back up. What ended up happening is I put in the order cancellation. The next day she sends me a message, an email. She sent me an email, not even a message. She sent me an email that said, I am so sorry that I'm late, and paid for it. So then I had this order cancellation over here on eBay, and then I had the money. And so I told her, I said, I need you to decline the cancellation and say that you don't want to cancel. So that way I can, get everything going. But she didn't. She approved the order cancellation. So the order's canceled. You can see it's canceled right here. But, so I went ahead and shipped it. And as far as eBay is concerned, I canceled it. Like it never happened. Which had me concerned. So I insured it to make sure. I always use ShipSaver. It ended up, I think, costing me $2 to insure it. And everything went through PayPal. Like I just shipped it through PayPal. And since PayPal's still connected to eBay, it shows that it shipped. Like it did ship, but it is canceled. It was very strange, and I was really worried about it, like getting, because you can see when she ordered it was March the 3rd. I shipped it March the 16th. Like that was how long this dragged out. So yeah, so that was an interesting situation because I was really worried about eating like $50 in international shipping if something went awry, but nothing went awry. Ha! That's kind of a pun on the toaster oven. Anyway. Okay, next up was the Sony remote. I had bought a bunch of VCRs because people said buy VCRs and combo players and all this stuff, and I never would test them. And then so I never could take them back because there was only like a 48-hour return policy on electronics at the time. So I had Patrick go through all of the VCRs one day and just test them all, and then ended up taking this huge lot of like for donation. But I kept a lot of the remotes, and so I went ahead and listed the remotes, and they've been selling. Actually, I don't think our Goodwill does remotes anymore. They used to have like plastic bins of them. I mean, just big ones, full of remotes. And there aren't any anymore. I've noticed I haven't seen a remote in a long time. I wonder what they're doing with them. I wonder if they're just sending them directly to the outlet. I need to ask them. What you done with the remotes? I sold 7 pairs this in March of these skinny leggings. And this has been one of my highest returned item I have ever had. Some people are super happy. They're like, great, thank you so much. They leave great feedback. And then I haven't gotten any negative feedback, but I've gotten returns. I had to go in. I don't know why it does this on Firefox, that the description is gone. Look at that, side by side. This is Chrome. There's the description. This is Firefox. There is no description. It's the exact same listing. I don't know. But anyway, I had to go back in and add. I thought maybe I didn't submit it. I thought I had put in a, oh, because this is the old listing. This is the one from last year. I mean, last month. Anyway, I did go ahead and go in and revise the description to say, these are not stretchy in the waist. Because they're not. They're like jeans, where they're not like traditional leggings that you can get them a size, 2 sizes too small, and they're still gonna fit you. These are like jeans. They are not gonna fit you if you're not the waist size of those jeans. So I did go back in and put a disclaimer after getting a couple of returns, even though I have the measurement in there. I put the measurement actually, where are these pants? I put the measurement in the size, so that way they couldn't miss it. See, I put this big disclaimer. I said, please pay attention to the waist size. These are button front and do not stretch in the waist like leggings or yoga pants. A small is a 23-inch waist, medium is 25-inch waist, large is 27-inch waist. And I realize those are small waists, but that is the sizing for this brand of leggings from China. And I know that my 8-year-old probably wouldn't fit the large, but the legs are like super long. They have a 37-inch inseam. So, I don't know. It's anyway. So I had to go ahead and put that in there but I have it up here in the sizing. It says it in the sizing, the waist size. So, whatever. But I've gotten, I don't know, 4 or 5 returns on them. And it's no big deal. I relist them and sell them, you know, whatever. I haven't gotten any that came back as like worn because they don't fit. All right, more collars. I'm almost sold out of these. I don't think I have very many at all on Amazon. I keep getting these fake returns though, that say like they're not as described. And I'm like, it's a collar. There's nothing more to describe about it. It's very accurate in the listing on Amazon. It's Amazon's listing. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that one's suppressed. Don't know why. 6, 7. I have 7 collars left out of 100 that I sent in. So, pretty good, man. Pretty good. And then I have a couple. I found a couple that were actually in a box. I have like 4, and then I've sold through the ones that I had on eBay. I think I have 2 left. So yeah, those went really well. That was great. I had this part for a lifetime. I bought it in a box. It had 4 different attachments. I've sold 2 of the attachments. I swear I bought this thing like 3 years ago. And then I have this attachment left, the little basket extractor, and I sold this whipping blade. Me and all of my crazy brain, switch labels on this. I switched labels from this to a, what's in here? It's the little accessories tray. This. I switched those 2 labels. So I had to get them resolved. The one lady that got the attachment by mistake, I sent her a label. She sent it right away. The other person, I sent them a label, and they did a return to sender on an open box, which my post office wasn't too happy about when they saw that the tape was cut, and it had return to sender on the thing. I don't know why they didn't. So she wasted my label. I couldn't void it because it was already past 5 days. So I lost the money originally on the shipping. I lost the shipping on the label that didn't get used. And then I had to print a 3rd label for that item since they didn't use the label that I gave them and send it to the customer. So I paid shipping 3 times on this item and twice on the other one. So 5 shippings on this, on these really small. Fortunately, they weren't expensive. Fortunately, they were first class, or I would have totally eaten this bad. If this was priority, I would have lost probably $60. But anyway, everybody got their stuff in the end. And then when this lady got her sewing thing, it wasn't the one that she needed. She had bought a sewing machine at the thrift store that didn't have one, and she thought this looked like it would fit. So then it got returned to me. That was my March. Anyway, next. Just the cost of doing business. It's just what it is. No big deal. I had bought the tub of stamps for $3.99. I've sold through a couple of them. This was some letters that went, they were on sale. So they were $13.45 plus shipping. They fit in a flat rate. Padded mailer. This went off to Australia. I paid $2.99 for this latch hook kit and went off to Australia. It was on sale for $26.05 and they paid their shipping. So, and I sold a tie. I I always try to pick up something that I don't normally sell, and these ties were one of them. These were ones that they had put in the Goodwill auction, and then the people didn't pay for them. So they were just on the sales floor, like, because you could tell they were from the auction because they had their lot number. And so I picked them up, and the lady, the cashier, was like super nice, and was like, "Oh, these are overpriced." And it only ended up charging me like $4.99 for 2 bags of ties instead of $4.99 for each bag of ties, because she was like, that's just way too much money. And I ended up trying out some different keywords to try to help it kind of stand out a little bit. And I used the word young executive and date. So if somebody was looking up like date tie or whatever, this was definitely a date tie, or this is like a young office guy. But yeah, it sold. I was really surprised. I was like, yay, my tie sold. It was like one of those little wins, because you're like, oh, I don't know. I don't really know about this. I don't know what I'm doing with this. And, all the other ties weren't priced very high. So I was really surprised. This Lego set has brought me so much money. I paid $2.99 for this Battle of Naboo Lego set, and I've parted it all out because I didn't know if it had all the pieces. So I took the little figures and I parted them out, and I took the pieces, and then I took I let me look. I have sold way more than I should have. I have made more money on that thing. It only sells for $20 whole, like the whole set. Like you can buy the whole set. Let's see. Lego. Let's see. Move out of the way, head. Oh. Okay, $53.73 is what I have sold from that Lego box. All I have left is the instruction manual. And if you look, Lego 7929. You can buy the whole thing 100% complete for $22. But I sold just the bricks for $20 plus shipping. And I sold just the little people, the droids. I sold them for $22 for just the droids. Look at them. Just these guys. 22 bucks. So, yeah, whatever. Works for me. That's why I part stuff out. Alright, next up. This was for one of the, it's called a Preeti machine. It's like a really super fancy, like, grinder mixer thing from India. And I had got some of the attachments, but then I had also got a box of like replacement parts in there. I paid $4.99 for everything. And slowly over time, they've been selling, and they always go international. They end up normally going to the UK. So they paid $9.95 for this, but I think they paid $13.95 in shipping. So this Ritz-Carlton bear, it was $39.95. I paid, I believe, $1.99 for him. I had somebody email me at one point or message me and say, they sell those for, $20 in the gift shop at the Ritz-Carlton. And I'm like, okay, go get one. So, like, I didn't respond. I just ignored it. And he ended up selling full price, $39.95 plus shipping. He was super duper soft. Really cute bear. Alright, next. I paid $4 for this at the Goodwill computer store. You can see it was expired. And pair of MBTs. I believe those were on sale. Anything on sale? $32.50. I took a best offer. Not bad because I paid $7.99 for them. I always buy those if I see them. And I had bought these Target dogs. They were from an associate, and there was several in one bag and several in another bag, and I paid $4.99 for each bag. And over time, I've sold through them. I have, I think, 2 left out of 10. So I got these at Savers. I ended up with 9. There were 3 in a bag, and I paid $2.99 a bag, so basically $1 a piece. And I have these are the pieces that I have available. I sold the Dr. Doom for $29.95. And then I also sold, I thought I sold a different one, but I guess not. I mean, I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. So Dr. Doom paid for all of them because I didn't pay that much for them to begin with. I paid, what, $10 for all of them? Frozen CD, it was a misscan, I guess. I scanned it at when I was at Goodwill and for some reason thought it was better. But I ended up listing it on eBay. I mean, it was fairly easy, simple listing. Paid $1.99 for it, sold it for $5 best offer plus shipping. So I still made a couple bucks. This was also a mistake purchase. I recognized Francesca Battistelli, but I paid $1.99 for this one, and it was sealed, brand new. But they don't have this particular one on Amazon because this one's the Lifeway limited edition one that had 2 additional songs, and it just didn't sell that well on eBay either. It wasn't listed very long. Actually, it sold fairly quickly. I think I only had it listed a couple days before I got an offer of $6, and I just took it. I was like, get out of here. I mean, it's March. You're buying Christmas CDs. And then this was another piece of that train. I only have 2 pieces of the train left, this one and this one. I've sold through everything else, except the tracks, which I don't even know if I'm going to list, or I don't even know if I listed or maybe it fell off. But I had paid, I think, $7 for the train, the whole train. So this went on sale, $11.65 free shipping, and then it just fits in a little box. So it's, you know, $2.60 to ship it. Because my boxes are 4 ounces. So if I have an item that's 4 ounces or less, it'll go 8-ounce shipping. So it works out. Oh, here's those little droids. Sorry. Yeah, so there's the droids. And then I sold this pocket organizer. It went on best offer for $30. I paid $2.99 for it. I did buy new batteries for it. And it sold. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Because I was listing it just when I was listing things that I was like, okay, these things need to be listed or they need to go away. And I just went ahead and was listing it when I was listing the remotes. And yeah, $30, not bad. I wouldn't have thought that, but hey, there you go. These came out of palette rejects, so I sold 2 of these purple ones. And I had bought these Sperry's for my daughter, hoping that they would fit her. They were $7.99, but they didn't. They were really cute. You can see their fur, and then they had the stuff inside. They were in really good condition, so they went on best offer for $25 plus shipping. And I sold some more pantyhose. I'm coming down to the last of these. I think I only have probably less than 10. And I had bought, what, 35 or something like that. So, yeah. And last of these from the palette rejects, the cigarette tubes, the ones I had messed up on and miscounted and misdescribed. But it kind of made up for it because I've been selling them for $11.95 free shipping. The only problem with these is that their box is too long. So they don't fit very well in like any of the boxes I have. Like they just don't. I at one point was making like custom foam because I got this foam I was making like custom foam shipping containers for them and just put them in a poly bag because I just couldn't find a box that was right. They're like 7 inches long or like 9 inches long or something like that, or 7 inches long. They're just like not the right size for a box that I have. I bought this for $6.99. It is a plus size robe robe, and I took a best offer on it of $30. I had somebody that kept offering me like 19 bucks or something. They were pissing me off. And I was just like, no, you can't have it. Because I knew what it sold for. It had, it sold before. So yeah, it had this really nice little detail on the front and the little sleeves. But yeah, $30. I paid $6.99. So that was like my first kind of go at when I was just looking at clothing. This is another mistake of the month. I sent the guy the wrong shoes. I sent him the wrong shoes before. I noticed I sent him the wrong shoes before he even knew I sent him the wrong shoes. I sent him, fortunately, they're the same size. They were at 8.5, and they were a pair of wingtip senator dress shoes. And I sent him those and then realized, oh my goodness, I sent the wrong shoes. And so I contacted him, let him know, hey, you're going to be receiving these shoes. And I sent him the link to the to the listing. And I was like, you're going to be receiving these shoes. They're the same size. You're welcome to keep them. I went ahead and sent out your shoes that you ordered. And he sent me a message yesterday asking me about that must have been his right there. Nice. It said I had feedback and I didn't know. He sent me a message yesterday asking me, like, does he need to ship back the other shoes? And I was like, no, don't even worry about it. It's just, my mistake. You can keep them. So I lost the shipping on those and a pair of shoes, but that's okay. I had those shoes forever. It was like no big deal. I basically lost $20 on it. That's kind of how it worked out. Another collar. It was a small one. I got ripped off on this. Lady called me and said that the cans had opened up in shipping. And which isn't possible. These are packaged like, like peanuts or baby formula, where it's got that foil you gotta rip off, and then it's got a cap on top. And I asked the lady, I said, was the box crushed? And she said, no. And I go, well then, how would they open up? And she sent me pictures, and the pictures that she sent me were like staged. You could like totally tell it was staged. And so she apparently has the son that's sick, and she said, she goes, every time I order these cans, if they're not bubble wrapped, then they open up. And I'm like, there's no freaking way. Even if they were bubble wrapped, if they were going to open up, they were going to open up. There's just no way they opened up. Not the way that they were packaged anyway. Like, there wasn't any clearance between the box. There wasn't anything anyway. So the way I look at it is that she's just ripping people off for it. And I almost thought about like finding like where I could find a charity for her to just get them for free, because eBay's not a charity. And these are really expensive. They're like $12 at the store. $12 a can. So yeah. But I had to just eat that one. I was not too happy about it, especially looking at the pictures, because I was just like, oh. And I showed them to some other reseller friends of mine. They're like, oh, that's totally staged. And I was like, yeah, she's ripping me off. But whatever. All right, so I had these Toms, and I had them forever. This lady kept offering me. She lived in Austin, and she would make me an offer, and I would accept the offer, and then she wouldn't pay. And then I'd close out a non-paying bidder thing, and then a couple weeks later, she would make me an offer, send me a message and say, I really wanted those Toms, and send me an offer, and I'd accept, and then she wouldn't pay. And I'm like, lady, I know where you live. So, finally I just blocked her. I was like, look, you just can't, just go away. And so I had these for a pretty good while. I paid $6.99 for them, and I took a best offer of $25. And, you know, Tom's, they ship out first class, so easy peasy. I paid $1.99 for this at Savers. I took a best offer of $8 plus shipping. This was the first of the what's in the bag stuffed animals that sold. This was Peep from Peep and the Big Wide World. Sold for $39.95, and it sold like right away. I think it was like one day he was gone. So Peep basically paid for every other stuffed animal that I bought when I bought all those stuffed animals that day. This is a Manhattan toy. It's supposed to have a little magnetic pacifier, but she didn't have it. And people kept asking me, does this have the pacifier? And I'm like, no. But I paid 99 cents for it, and it sold on best offer for $11. I generally pick up these headsets for $4.99, and I just part them out. I don't ever sell them together. I don't know why I don't. I just don't. So this, I paid $4.99 for this, and I sold the headset, just the earpiece, for $8.95. And I paid $6.99 for this tackle box. It's from Plano, I believe. Plano. I think that's what it is. I didn't put the name on there, did I? Yeah. Plano fishing tackle box, and it had all the little organizers inside. I had paid $6.99 for this, and it sold on best offer for $25 plus shipping. And another replacement part for the Krups machine. I need to check now. I guess these are selling for more money, huh? At the time that I started parting them out, they weren't selling for very much. And I was making more money just parting them out. I wonder. Where's the switch? $25. It's not horrible. They generally are priced about $4.99 at the store. And their boxes always look like crap. Like, those boxes were not built to hold up, because they do not hold up well. So if you see these, make sure you pick them up. It looks like they're doing fairly well. This was a thumper. I paid $9.98 for it. It sold overnight. I think it sold within an hour. Actually, now that I think about it, for $99 plus shipping. So that was an easy, great deal. Nice sale. I was all super excited about it. I actually purposely underpriced it compared to the other listings. The other listings were at like $129, $119, some of them. And I put it at $99.95 without any best offer, because I just wanted it to sell. I wanted the money to go. And then I paid $4.99 for this Conair bath spa. It was, I can't believe it was $4.99, but everything in it was new. So the box looked like junk, but the inside of it was all sealed. It was all sealed up. See? So it was new inside. So I sold it for $149 and with free shipping, and it did cost me a good amount of money for shipping. But that's one of those things that it's better whenever you have super high shipping to just include it in the price, because if you don't, you're gonna end up scaring off your customer. No, it says $27. I wonder if that's how much they actually charged me if I look at my eBay invoice. Because you know sometimes they jack you up on your shipping. No, 27.18. Cool. All right. So I did my measurements correctly. Like if you don't do your measurements properly and it's not weighed properly, they can really screw you over on those added charges. And then we're coming up on the tail end of this now. So that was a great sale. I paid, $4.99 for that. Plus it was 30% off because I had a coupon. I bought this hat. I don't sell a lot of hats, but I paid $3.99 for this. I had bought this Ferrari hat and that Cape Cod shark hat. So it sold $14.95 free shipping and put it in a box and sent it on its way first class. This was that replacement work bowl that I had forever because I couldn't figure out what it was for. But I bought it because I knew it was worth money because it was so huge. I paid $2.99 for it, and it just kind of sat over here for a while. And then I finally was like, I gotta figure out what that thing is for. And it was for one of the really large food processors from Cuisinart. And I ended up, let's see, that way. I ended up selling it, yeah, for $33.96. It was on sale, plus shipping. So, not bad. And I had already sold the pusher that went inside. Yeah. This freaking thing was a nightmare. This was another time I made a mistake last month. I sent this replacement work bowl to this person and vice versa, which I'm not sure how because the boxes weren't even close to the same size. I don't even know how I confused it. So they each got their thing, and then when this guy got his thing, which I took a best offer on it any freaking way for like $12.50, which was like way cheap because he just kept on and kept on and kept on and making me offers, and so I was just like, fine, take the freaking thing. Well, then it didn't work, he said. Oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't heat up. And I'm like, it's new. Anyway, so I refunded his money and went on about my day. So that was one of the other mistakes. These came off of pallet rejects. I had 4 of them. We're just, I don't know. This was a good find. I paid $14.95 for these 2 Comfort Audio Duet personal listening headphones. They went off to Germany, I think. I don't remember. They went somewhere. I insured them through ShipSaver, so I don't care. But yeah. So $14.95 into $130 is not bad. I will make sure to look out for those from now on. I got these Pet Armor Plus on clearance at Target for $7.78 or something like that. They sold overnight. I made a couple bucks on it. Wasn't like it was some super fantastic profit. Let's see. $6.75. That's not bad. So I made $13, on them overnight. They didn't take anything to ship. No big deal. Easy, easy. And I paid $2.99 for this frozen yogurt maker, frozen ice cream maker. I don't think the people at Goodwill knew what it was because it was like in a bag and it was all weird. And I really thought it was only the bowls. I didn't even think it had the unit. I thought it was 2 bowls. When I got it home, I realized it was actually the whole thing and an extra bowl. And it was only marked at $2.99, which seemed really weird. So, I don't know. This one on best offer for $19.97 plus shipping. And it was super duper heavy to ship. I think it was like 12 or 13 pounds. Something like that. Yeah, it was crazy. This came out of Pallet Rejects. It's just a headlamp. It was, I put my entire store 50% off for a while, and then I put it 40% off. It's actually 40% off right now. Anything that was over $25 is now 40% off. And anyway, so this sold for $12.47 plus shipping. I had paid $6.99 for this at Goodwill. and it sold for $24.97 plus shipping. This is it's like you put your smartphone on it with the camera lens through it, and you can put negatives through it, and then you can take pictures of the negatives, and you'll have the pictures on your phone. Kind of interesting. This was something I lost. It's somewhere here in my house, and I don't know where it is, so I ended up I actually sent the guy the wrong thing to begin with. I sent him a TrueFit knee brace, and I realized it like an hour after it went off to the post office, and I was like, I sent the guy a message. I said, I'm sorry, I sent you the wrong thing. You can keep it, and then I'll get the correct one sent out to you. I still couldn't find it. I ended up ordering it on Amazon for $10 and having it sent to him. So another one of my mistakes of the month. Here's another one of the electric organizers that I sold. I paid $1.99 for it and went for $12.95, and it actually went international to Canada. Oh, they just got it yesterday. Wow, it took them a long time to get that. Oh, no, it didn't. Not bad. Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize we were already this late in the month. So March 28th, it took them from March 28th to April the 7th. It's not a bad delivery time. This was a good find. I paid basically $1.50 for this. There was 2 in a bag for $3. I had it listed for $99.95 for a while, and I had it listed for $99.95 on Amazon. Somebody sent me a message on Amazon asking why it was so high, and I said, well, because that's the current market value, because there aren't any more. I had the only one on Amazon. But since I had my store half price, it went ahead and went down to $49.97 and sold. I will take it any day. I will take $1.50 to $50 any freaking day of the week. Come and buy my stuff. These actually went to a customer here in Austin. I paid $4.99 for these Carusos, and a lot of the stuff that was inside was actually still sealed up. Like the little clips were still sealed, and the little spray was sealed. Since they were half price, they went for $17.47 plus shipping. And this finally sold. Oh my gosh, I've had 2 of these, and I've had them forever. Forever. You can see it's on the aqua background. I haven't used that in well over a year. So yeah, and so they went half price, $15.97, and it fit perfectly in a regional A box. It was like perfect, so I made a little bit of money off of the shipping because they had actually paid for a medium flat rate. And yeah, I had bought those for, I think, God, it was a long time ago, but it was either $2.99 or $4.99. Can't remember, but yeah. This also came from the Goodwill Computer Store. I paid $5. All of their ink is $5, regardless of brand or anything. So it's not hard to just scan through and see, which ones are worth picking up. I lost this. It's not in the box with all the other stuff. I know it's somewhere it doesn't belong. I remember seeing it. Oh, I don't know where it is. I searched for it for 2 days. I did go ahead and call Presto, because this manual is not available online. I called Presto and asked them if they had the manual, and the lady said she'd call me back, and about 15 minutes later she said she found it in the archive, that they had a photocopy of it. And then so she emailed me the photocopy, and then I sent it to the customer and told them, I'm sorry, I can't find the manual. I've canceled your order and refunded your money, but here is the manual I got from Presto. She was actually really happy. She was like, I am so glad you went through the trouble of even getting me the manual. Most people would have just, left me without a manual, this and that. So it was really nice. I was glad that I was able to find one, because it's not online. This, not available. I looked, and so did she. And then last thing was a pair of MBTs again. These went on sale for $19.97 and plus shipping, and I paid $6.99 for them. So that's it. So that is all of the sales. That's everything. Yay! This month is super duper slow, just because I've had my store on on vacation. Oh yay, that sold. Sweet. Cool. I need to pull that off of Amazon. Anyway, so I'm sorry about not doing my videos. I will be doing them every week. We will stop having missed shows of the stew. I'm getting it together. So, thank you for always being there, watching these super long, crazy, sales videos and supporting me and everything. I have the most amazing subscribers. Thank you. And I will see you guys on Tuesday for the stew. We don't have a topic yet. We never do. We always just figure it out the day before. But if you have any ideas, make sure to post them over on the Reseller Stew Facebook page, because it is super duper duper hard to come up with content. So if you have some suggestions, let me know. I know everybody wanted us to touch on taxes, but I really just didn't want to do that because it just opens up this whole can of worms. It's like Pandora's box, and I don't want to open it up because I'm not a tax expert. Why am I still crying? I do my own taxes, but it's like, I don't want to give you advice on it. I don't. So, anyway, everybody have a really great weekend. I am going right now to go see my daughter. She is signing her college. She's signing for college. She got a full scholarship to go to Cisco College here in Texas, and that saved us all a ton of money. So I really need to step my game up because I'm responsible for buying Beyonce tickets. Yeah, and they're not cheap. Neither are hotels. So, anyway, I will catch up with you guys later. Have a great weekend. Bye.